Hi, Kumar Guru. Is that how you say your beautiful name? My name is Daphne. I'm one of the essay correctors here at IELTSpodcast.com. Thank you for getting in touch with your essay. Lovely to hear from you. Really good idea to get some feedback when you start your IELTS preparation. So this essay is a difficult one. International marketing is sometimes seen as invasive and an intrusion. Very strong words, these. Into the country in question. Others argue it's a necessary and economical form of education. So there's two obvious paragraphs here. Discuss both views and give your opinion. So until very recently, it is thought. Now with this kind of time phrase, you have to use the present perfect. So until very, very recently, it has been thought. Okay, that's really, really important. That international marketing is an invasion of the less fortunate countries by wealthier countries. Now, be very careful here. Nobody said that there's a time on this. This statement suggests it's still now. You're saying until now, suggesting a change. We don't know if there's any change. But also more important, two things. Don't use the same words as the question, because the examiner can't give you any marks if you use the same words. And also what we're actually talking about in this essay is advertising. We're not talking about trade and taking resources. We are talking about advertising. Don't worry. Many students read this question wrong. Okay? Many students talk about trade. On the online course, we have a full module on how to answer the right question. This is the most important thing in IELTS. So often people just get the question slightly wrong, then they write slightly the wrong essay, which can't get you a top score. So, or advertising. So immediately show the examiner what you mean. Now, invasion, I think that's very strong. Okay, so I would go is sometimes unwelcome, which is a good word, or even better, inappropriate. If I can spell it, appropriate for some cultures. So if we're thinking of maybe an American company advertising maybe in your country or advertising in the Middle East, some of the advertisements may be very unsuitable. This is what we're really aiming at talking about in this essay. Okay. However, many experts from both the developed and developed countries argue that international marketing is crucial. Okay, so get this into advertising and then we're fine. While there's a possibility that a rich country might take advantage of a poorer country, the benefits are undeniable. Okay, that's a nice sentence. But so here, instead of country, maybe company, yeah, of a poorer company's people. So we talk about consumers. We want all this kind of vocabulary connected to business, really, and also connected to advertising or marketing or selling. Okay, so you can see how we need to just shift that paragraph around. Firstly, when it comes to international trading, there's always a risk of a first world country taking advantage of a third world country. So this whole paragraph, I'm afraid I kind of don't feel you're on point here, because you're talking about, let's look at what you're saying, okay, but for me this is not relevant for this essay. So some of the less fortunate countries are home to a lot of natural resources, okay. So rather than being our home to natural resources, okay, are resources, maybe you would use the word boast rich natural resources which are of interest to many overseas parties. That kind of language is really nice. So I'm not using have, they have resources. I'm saying they boast them. So, whoa, look what I've got. I've got lots of natural resources. But do you see the point? This is not the right essay. I want you to be talking about maybe Apple going to advertise in a country and the adverts being unsuitable, or maybe clothing shops offering Western style clothes which are inappropriate. Also, you could talk even about McDonald's. So McDonald's goes to a country, they open lots of fast food outlets, they advertise in a very strong, powerful way. What's the impact of that? So the impact is that some small businesses may close because they can't compete. This is the idea that we want to be bringing up here. Okay, so trade does not always end up benefiting both parties involved. For example, a wealthy country might offer it only a fraction of the money it would otherwise offer. So this is lovely in terms of your English, and you're making very few errors. I'd love to see you getting involved on the course and writing me more essays so I can really see what you do with the right question. Okay. Now, secondly, you can't have firstly, secondly, because here you're saying one idea, here you're saying the contrary. So it's however. You're going into a totally different idea, and you have to signal to the examiner you're changing direction. Is vital, or is thought to be, or is often argued to be vital. Okay, before international trade, there was very little cultural exchange between two countries. Okay, so you could get this into advertising. Yeah, there was little awareness before advertising campaigns or aggressive advertising on social media. With the advancement in the field of technology, it's extremely easy to share an idea, okay? So for a company to share an idea, and this can lead to sales growth. So it doesn't take much to kind of rescue this essay and change it around. Though trading people from different cultures get to meet and spend quality time together before knowing each other. Okay. Yeah, so do you see the problem? Your English is beautiful. Are you using spell check, or do you always write in beautiful English like this? So it's really, really lovely level of language, more just a question of answering the right question. Could possibly, okay. Yeah, do you see the problem here? So please have a look at the courses that we offer. This will help you think about the right question, identify the key words in the question, okay? Then we talk about brainstorming ideas for this right question. Then we look at planning. And planning is really, really important. If you plan correctly, you will write the right essay. Okay? And then we add value by looking at your vocabulary, how you can get super good marks for the grammar and the vocab, adding the magic to these essays. So let's look at this task 1. That's quite hard to see. Okay, so we've got information about how many international students were enrolled in 10 different universities in the UK in 2 given years. Okay. So overall, it's evident that all the universities experienced an increase in the number of international students. Good. Cardiff showed a slight drop in the number. Brilliant. Now, I'd like to see this in 4 paragraphs, or 4 sections maybe. This is your first section. That's fine. Your overall sentence, I suspect, should probably end there. Okay, remain static. You can't remain rather static. You can remain static, or you can remain relatively stable. Okay, in the 2 years. So that would be quite nice language. Otherwise, looking good. Brighton was the most popular university among international students. Okay. Now I want details so I want some numbers in here. Now you're assuming it's percent. There's no percentage in here. So use the units that you're given. It could be 12,000, it could be 120,000, we don't know. But just use, so Brighton, you've got the most popular with 12 and then 13. Okay? With 12 in 2009 and a small increase to 13 in the, or was it 5 years later? So really pay attention to the units, okay? So no one's telling you it's percentage. So you would lose marks for that. So just work with the units that you're given. Okay, unless there's something in here that says percentage that I can't see. Otherwise, be very careful. Birmingham showed the largest increase. Okay, similarly, the figure from Edinburgh doubled. Okay. Maybe this should be your second section. So in contrast here. Okay, so how can you, you've told me what you can see, which is fine. But if we're going to add value, we need to make some comparisons here. So you need to say, for example, that the number of students in these years remain similar compared to these ones where there was an increase. Yeah? Or you need to group it together. So you you're grouping these two together, which is fine. So group these for 1 year and then group those for another year, and then contrast them. So you could have grouping these in 1 year compared to that which was much higher, or indeed compared to that which was much lower. So don't just tell me what you can see, do this grouping and comparing. Okay, so group and compare. So very much in the question where it says summarize the information and then compare, what we're looking for is comparative languages. Recruitment was as high as in such and such a country, or levels of students were lower than. So this comparative, you've got the superlative in here, but let's get some more of that kind of language in here. That would be brilliant. So really hope to work with you. It would be great for you to get some more feedback. Hope you find this useful. This is what we do here. Check out the courses, and obviously they come with essay corrections and feedback like this as well. Okay, thank you.